hired by a woman one time who wanted me to help her find her husband's adoptive parents. But she wanted to surprise him because they had always talked about hiring a private investigator but could never afford it. So she saves up her money to hire me. So sweet, right? She says he's such a good man. I just want to do this for him. Talked about it since we've been married 22 years. She even shows me like screenshots of conversations that they had about it. Like, it's really sweet that she saved all of that so she could eventually do this for him, right? He eyes ain't cheap. She gives me all his information, tells me everything she knows. I get to work. So of course I'm pulling up history, comprehensive report, social media, public records, anything and everything. Well, the adoption took place in another state. So there's a lot more digging involved, right? And this man has a very, very, very common name. So his identity has been mistaken several times, which is kind of normal on a comprehensive report. Anyway, so as I'm doing my research, I'm staying in touch with my client. I'm asking her questions. What do you know about a person named so-and-so? Are you familiar with this last name? I was asking her questions as I came across different pieces of information that I needed answers for. For instance, there was like a property in a whole nother state that he had his name on, and I was able to prove that it was just like mistaken identity with the social security numbers, whatever. She even said that they went through a lot of that because their name is so common. Well, I get to one point on the comprehensive report where it lists all the vehicles, and he has like a crap ton of vehicles in his name, but they weren't his. She said they've had to dispute a lot of those, and I personally have seen it happen, so like that tracks, right? Well, I go through them with her one by one, and my goal is basically to dissect everything attached to this man and work backwards. I have a process. But one of the cars she doesn't recognize. She doesn't remember ever going to court for it or trying to dispute it. She looks through her records. She's like, that one doesn't track. But she's thinking this is something else they're gonna have to dispute. Well, I'm me and don't leave anything alone. So I dive in head first to this girl that's on the car with this husband. Well, I'm waiting for my client to get back to me on a couple of things. I'm kind of at a gridlock right now. So I'm just mindlessly looking up this woman, and I find her on Facebook. And you know how on Facebook, if like the profile is private, the newsfeed will just be like previous profile pictures. Well, I see a picture of this woman standing next to this car, same car that I found on the comprehensive report, but the caption on the picture says, "Thank you, daddy." I'm like, oh my God, he has a daughter. But my client don't know about no daughter. So I'm like, oh no. I start panicking. I'm gonna have to tell this lady that this man has like a whole ass of their family somewhere, right? So I pull out the big guns and I'm digging deep into this girl. So right now I'm just kind of assuming. I mean, it don't take a rocket surgeon, but still, right? Well, I find an arrest on this girl. It was about a year prior. It's a DUI in that same car. Guess who bailed her out? You guessed it, daddy. But y'all, here's the kicker. In the little area that says relationship to detainee, y'all wanna know what it says? Because it don't say daddy. It says boyfriend. Y'all, this fella ain't daddy. He daddy. Well, of course, I dig a little bit deeper before I relay this to my client. Baby girl's name is not so common. So when I was able to find her, I found everything that daddy was connected to with her. It was an apartment, a car, a student loan. I don't know how that works. I thought you had to be for real daddy for that, but whatever. Several store credit cards and her current cell phone bill. Anyways, I gave her everything I have, right? She confronts the husband, and the husband ends up telling her the only reason he didn't want to look for his biological parents is because he knew they would find his girlfriend. They ended up not charging her. I didn't charge her a dime. I gave her her money back, and she ended up divorcing the guy, right? Well, about 2 years go by, and I get a check in the mail from her. And a letter basically stating that she had no idea. Clueless to everything. That she's in another state. I never would have known, but there's more. He had other girlfriends in other states. Together, we ended up going through the comprehensive report that I had at the time, and we found that 2 other false identity mistakes or situation on his comprehensive report were actually women that he had broken up with. Last I heard from her, she actually reported him for fraud because he's basically saying he has no idea what these lines of credit are or these loans, but he had signed for every one of them. He just didn't want his wife to know that it was with girlfriends. Anyways, play stupid games, win stupid prizes.